Hey all, Cypher and welcome back to another Outerplane video. Hope your day is going great. Mine was pretty fine. I mean, it was average. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, let's coming to back to the topic of the video. We are gonna be having a thorough guide for Skyward Tower Floor. Now, the boss is gonna be Schattenmeister Schwartz. Again, you might have seen him in adventure mode stages. He is a boss in multiple stages, and his mechanics remain the same. Of course, now we're going to run through his mechanics once more to understand how to beat him. Alright, now the CP requirement is going to be pretty average. I think if you're progressing to 40th floor, you should be able to complete this boss in probably under 3 or 4 days. Me personally, it took me only 3 days to complete him. And of course, my CP is currently pretty high, so don't think this is the ideal scenario to defeat this boss. Over to his mechanics, right? Enough chit-chatting. Now, the main mechanic is actually his passive, which is called Fury Stack 2. This helps him increase his attack every turn, right, by 7.5%. And this can ramp up pretty high. I don't think this has a limit, or probably it has, but he deals a lot of damage as the battle goes on, essentially. You have to keep in mind. Now, his second passive is Clown de Taragut. I can't pronounce that. I cannot pronounce that. I don't think that's German, because the rest of his abilities are in German. I think this is more like Spanish or something. I don't know. But yeah, this ability at the start of the battle reduces damage taken by 60% and weakness gauge damage taken by 50% for 2 turns each. The aforementioned effects are irremovable, alright? As long as a Shadow Beast exists, Schwartz does not take damage and his weakness gauge is not reduced. Shadow Beasts do not take damage from attacks that target all enemies. Now, this is a pretty loaded passive. Now, essentially what it says is for 2 turns at the start of battle, he's going to get irremovable buffs, which reduces damage taken by 60% and weakness gauge damage taken by 50%. So, of course, the course of action is going to be not to use your burst abilities, your burst skills in the first 2 turns, because it's going to be pointless, right? You're going to deal half the weakness gauge reduction. You're not going to be able to break him, and he's going to easily use his ultimate and summon those pesky little Shadow Beasts. The Shadow Beasts, again, I think many of players might be using stuff like Noah, Rin probably, Valentine, so they're not going to be able to take damage from AoE attacks. They're only going to take damage from single target attacks, and that's essentially going to be pretty much a pain in the ass to summarize. And me personally, when I first time cleared it, I did not get to the stage where he summoned those Shadow Beasts, so I do not know exactly how much difficult it gets thereon, but I can assume it gets more difficult than it already is, right? So his first skill is this 2/2 enemies heals himself by 10% of damage dealt. Again, this is pretty useless. All of his skills are pretty much useless. He doesn't deal that much of a damage, except of this skill, which is again Konig, this Outerplane. This is not German. I don't think this is German, bro. Come on. I mean, it's in AoE, heals 10% damage dealt as caster's health. Additionally, has a 100% chance to reduce target's attack down for 2 turns. Now, this attack down for 2 turns. If he manages to land this, there's a high chance he'll be able to go into rage mode, and then he'll be able to summon those Shadow Beasts. So me personally, I always use a Fainin. She has this immunity up, so that can protect me from debuffs. Also, it's pretty handy to have a Valentine to keep providing priority to all my allies, because if you do not know, she has one of the best low-cost first burst abilities, right, which increases all allies' priority by 10%. Anyways, that's essentially the gist of this boss. Let's see how to defeat him in action, right? Now, again, keep in mind, as I always say in these videos, my CP is currently much higher than probably a person who's going to be first time, fighting this boss. Of course, start with your buff ability on Valentine. Try to reduce his priority. Make sure to cycle as many turns as you can. Here I'm just going to use my Rin's third ability, just for the sake of it. I really did not need to, but I just like it, I like seeing the animation. Plus, I got the skin, so yeah, there's that. Of course, obviously use your Noah's first ability. Do not start off with their third ability unless you have 4 or more stacks of Kaiser energy. As you can see, he does not do that much for damage, right? He He barely chunked my Rin, and my Rin has has pretty much no HP. Seriously, she's a feather, right? Let's go. Anyways, enough talking, enough chit-chatting. We are just gonna keep pounding him. Keep in mind he still has those two buffs which are removable. Reduces damage taken. Now after this turn, he's gonna take massive damage because till now he was getting 60% reduced damage. So this is your chance. Use everything that you have, guys. Every single thing. I'm gonna use my burst on my Valentine. Push up all of my allies. He's gonna use his AoE attack, so I'm gonna use my Feinen's immunity to make sure I do not get debuffed, right? There's that. Again, my Valentine is gonna rotate faster. Now here I'm probably gonna use my Noah's ultimate ability because she has 4 stacks of Kaiser energy. Again, of course, she does not crit, of course. Best Noah in the game, guys. Best Noah. There we go. Now he's enraged. Here he summons these pesky little, what's it called? Shadow beasts. Keep in mind, they do not take damage from AoE attacks, so I need to use single target attacks. There we go. They're pretty squishy, actually. Look at that. My Feinen's first attack is almost killing them, which is pretty ironic, not gonna lie. Always make sure to kill these beasts before attacking him because he's not gonna take damage while the beasts are active, right? It already says here. So now here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to use my Noah's second burst to get some more cooldown reduction on my ultimate. Now I should have, yeah, I do have my burst skill up. Wait a second. He's at 32. So you can see he has this reduced damage taken and increased attack. I think this increased attack caps at 5 stacks. So currently he has 5 stacks of it. Alright, which is 30% bonus increase. I'm not going to use my chain skill right now because I don't feel the need to. My allies are pretty healthy already. And he's not honestly doing that much damage as I expected him to do so. So that's pretty ironic. By the way, why I'm saying they're healthy is because if you do not know, my Feinen's companion skill also heals, right? So I consider it a last moment ditch to use my burst skill when it's not even necessary, just to get some extra heals. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my AoE ability again to reduce his priority. There we go, reduce his priority. Now I'm going to use my Feinen's second burst skill. Noah's first skill. I think he should be in kill range. Okay, okay. Noah showcase there. She just wipes the floor. Amazing. Anyways, that was the short guide for floor 40. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.